So this is just to give kind of an example of just what we're talking about in general, right? And then, yeah, I'll just have right at it here. So this, none of this is required for, this is just something that I have for a little demo thing that I can wheel around or whatever it is. So I built this, and I wanted to design this basic Asic. I'll use my little catchphrase. So basic Asic, I wanted to, or Hashpack Mini, I don't know what to call it, but basic Asic, I wanted to make a thing that was just as bare bones as you could have, that you could build, that a DIY person could build themselves off of everything they could order online, and then they could decide whatever they wanted to put in. Because so a lot of people said, oh, I want a job site thing, I want this, that. So I decided to make something that would fit inside, like standard stuff you could buy at Home Depot, standard job trailer pack or whatever. So this is just like a Rubbermaid or whatever the heck it is. It's not Rubbermaid, but it's one of those other ones. I got it on this little tote thing. There's this little square tote. Inside that is what counts. Hopefully it stays together here because I made it to stay together. So inside here, for those who can see on the quick video, the basic Asic is just a filter box, an AC Infinity fan. This is all available from AC Infinity. I'm going to have little, like, that's a whole other little side story, but there are links, there will be links available someday on my page, and I'm going to have that all set up in products, but a week or two. So AC Infinity fan, AC Infinity filter box, AC Infinity ducting, flex ducting there, and then in the nice stainless steel clamps they come with it and everything. Everything comes with AC Infinity stuff. I'm not an AC Infinity rep. It's kind of a long story there, but yeah, I love their products and wanted to make them, this easily available system. So we've got their fan that has a temperature probe. I think it's called Cloudline. The Cloudline series has a temperature probe. This is not hashing at the moment, but it is, the fan is on, and this is about the sound that you would have from running it at about 400 watts, which is, we're set at 420 watts right now from my place. So the fan's really quiet, it ramps up and down a little bit, but you can, that's up to the DIYer to work on that part. I have a little thing in my hand as well right here, this little handy heater from whoever made that one, but this is a 400 watt heater that plugs into the wall. So we were talking earlier about that, the efficiencies. This is at 400 watts, this is at 400 watts, literally exactly the same, right? This one has a temperature probe that controls the fan speed. Long story short, this is where we're at the in between R&D stage and production stage on things, whereas I'd rather not, what I have is a temperature probe in the back, I'll show in a second, controlling, reading the heat that's being put off from the miner. I go into my laptop and I interpolate that and set it up to where it's keeping the miner at the temperature I want, which is, about 84 to 88 C is what I want my miner chips to read. Okay, if that's miners, everybody out there that's a miner knows all these things. Anybody that doesn't, that's a little bit too in depth. But to keep the miner where it normally would operate with its normal stock fans on, let's say it that way, we need to run this fan at, whatever it might be. So this fan is now taking the place of the miner fans, right? So if you look in here, there are no fans on this Asic. This is a little special piece that Rick at Crypto Cloaks has made me from the 3D printer. So long story short, we've basically taken off the fans. We've got just the Asic inside a box that it fits in, and a custom 3D printed shroud for the front that forces all the air through the Asic, and the power supply, which is also in there without a fan. So there's no more sound from the miner, which was always the problem. And now it's cooled by this little AC Infinity fan. It happens to just be flexible in here. It doesn't have to be like this. Like I said, the only thing we need is these few gut parts. You can build it into anything that it fits into, as long as we have enough air feed. Like I have a filter on top of that. So filtered air coming in, so you don't have to worry about cleaning the miner for a long time. And it's also filtering the air in your house. That's going to pass through. It's going to cool the miner off. It's going to push all the air through this box and force it through the miner. This is the thing that Crypto Cloaks will provide. All of these parts come with the stuff that you buy from AC Infinity, which is really beautiful because they give you these nice stainless steel parts. There's another 3D printed part on the bottom that holds the miner in the exact spot. And here's where I have the temperature probe, reading the temperature of the air coming off the miner. So that is not a perfect system, and it only works if you have to fiddle around with some apps and do some things to get it set up, but then once it's fine. This is a coming soon situation here. This is called a Nord board, or this is actually the Nord board. There's a Loki board and Nord board, and they're all from a guy named Zach Baumsta, who's got Pivotal Pleb Tech. We're working on getting this straightened out, and very soon this will control the fan instead of the temperature probe, right? And it does work on the S19s. That's the guy who's doing the stuff with the S19 single board work and things. Long story short, it'll all come together very shortly, and there are people working on components like that out there to make it even simpler than it is now. But this is pretty simple if you know a thing or two about just setting up your basic ASIC. So that's it in a nutshell. That's an ASIC miner for no one who's ever seen those. That's one without a fan, the power supply for it, and it just runs inside this box quietly and puts its heat out into your house.